The Double Life of Daniel Harper, A Teacher's Lesson in Deception. Based on a true story. Names and details have been altered for privacy. Woodhaven, New Jersey. A picturesque suburban town where neighbors waved from porches, and children rode their bikes freely down maple-lined streets. Nothing bad ever really happened here, or so they thought. Between late 2019 and early 2022, a series of meticulously executed burglaries swept through the quiet neighborhoods. More than 30 homes were hit. Jewelry, passports, heirlooms, even family photos disappeared without a trace. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken windows, no fingerprints. Whoever was doing it knew exactly where to go, what to take, and how to vanish. There was a chilling signature. The intruder often rearranged items. A family portrait tilted, a kitchen chair moved slightly, a clock adjusted by a few minutes. It was almost theatrical. A message. As if the thief wanted the families to know they'd been watched. Local media branded him the Ghost of Woodhaven. Residents installed cameras, locked doors twice, and kept lights on all night. But none of it worked. The burglaries continued. No arrests. No leads. Living among them the entire time was Daniel Harper, a 44-year-old middle school English teacher. Soft-spoken. Friendly. Dependable. He had taught half the kids in the neighborhood. He lived in a modest home, kept a tidy classroom, and greeted every student with a smile. By day, he preached morality through literature. By night, he violated the very trust he spent years building. January 12, 2022. It began with a fire. A minor electrical fault at Pine Street Storage set off an alarm at 9:46 p.m. By the time firefighters arrived, flames had begun to spread to surrounding units. Several storage lockers were broken open to prevent a larger disaster. Inside one unit, investigators stumbled upon what looked like an evidence locker. Dozens of Ziploc bags, neatly labeled by name and address. Jewelry, class rings, watches, children's toys. A journal detailing times, routes, and entries. A drawing from a child labeled, "To Mr. Harper, best teacher ever." Police were stunned. It was the break they hadn't dared hope for. The contents were turned over to the local precinct, and within days, the puzzle pieces began snapping into place. Addresses matched crime scenes. Names matched victims. And handwriting analysis confirmed what few dared to believe. The Ghost of Woodhaven was a school teacher. The case exploded in the media. Daniel Harper was brought in for questioning. Calm. Composed. Almost amused. But behind the scenes, detectives worked overtime to build the case. A search warrant for his home revealed nothing overt, until they found an encrypted flash drive hidden beneath the floorboards of his garage. With federal assistance, it was cracked. Inside were spreadsheets labeled routine logs, surveillance footage taken from his own dashcam, voice notes recorded on his phone during faculty meetings, with mentions of families' weekend plans, copies of student emergency contact forms and parent schedules. Daniel had used school access and conversations to learn families' habits. He watched, waited, and struck only when he was certain no one would be home. The deeper they dug, the darker it got. Daniel had once lived in Pennsylvania before coming to Woodhaven. Cold case files from his previous town were reopened. 12 similar unsolved burglaries were identified. In one case, a woman had come home unexpectedly and was never seen again. Though no charges were filed in that incident, the timeline placed Daniel just miles away. He had been perfecting his system for nearly 2 decades. It took 3 weeks before Daniel confessed. He did it not out of guilt, but weariness. "You spend enough time being invisible," he said during the taped confession, "and eventually you want someone to know you exist." His wife had left him 5 years earlier. He lost custody of his 2 children. Gambling debts piled up. The facade of the charming teacher held firm, but beneath it, Daniel Harper was unraveling. He said the burglaries became ritual. Not about the items, but the feeling. The sense of control. The silent presence in someone else's life. He never sold a single stolen item. Every object was catalogued, stored, preserved. He called them his memories. To investigators, it was both horrifying and heartbreaking. A man whose job was to shape young minds had instead turned into something else entirely. The trial was swift. The evidence irrefutable. Daniel Harper was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison for burglary, wire fraud, unlawful surveillance, and possession of stolen property across state lines. His home was seized. His teaching license permanently revoked. His ex-wife and children moved out of state, never attending a single day of trial. The community of Woodhaven was shaken to its core. Parents who once adored him now couldn't speak his name. Students testified in court, some in disbelief, others in anger. One student said, "He taught us to find the truth in books. But the biggest lie was the one he lived." The school district quietly removed his name from all faculty plaques. The literature wing he once led was repainted. The school motto, "Once knowledge is power," was replaced with a new banner. "Character is everything." And the locker at Pine Street Storage? It remains sealed, now in federal custody, a haunting archive of stolen memories. In the end, Daniel Harper taught one final lesson, that sometimes the most dangerous people don't break in wearing masks. They walk through the front door wearing name tags.